Howdy, who all my stock market gamblers? Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. Well, what do we got going on in the markets today? Well, the markets are closed. It's President's Day. All right, so the S&P, we got the 5,000 print, right? Now, I think we're going to have an ugly week, either this week or next week. Now, this week is a short trading week, so maybe they push it out to next week. We did have a down week last week in the S&P, and that was only the second down week in the last 16 weeks. Out of the last 16 weeks, 14 weeks were up weeks and only 2 down weeks. Look at this is not sustainable. At some point, this market's going to get ugly, and it could get ugly really fast. Now, we're at 5,000. I know the Moon Boys think we're going to 10,000, and that's fine. You can have your opinion. I'm good with that. My opinion is that this market is going to pull back. This market's going to start to get ugly. Now, we got NVIDIA. Their earnings are coming out on Wednesday. That could be a market changer. Maybe that'll cause a blow off top. Maybe that will be the turning point, and we'll start to head lower from there. So this week or next week, I think, is going to be where the market starts to get really ugly. Once again, this is just my take, and your take may be completely different. Speaking of different takes, I don't sometimes wonder, maybe I've got everything wrong. The Moon Boys, they tell me I got it all wrong. A lot of comments tell me, Mike, you got this all wrong. We're just going to go up from here. Now, I decided to watch a little bit of the mainstream media. Now, if you watch the mainstream media, they got a completely different opinion than I have. You see, what they will tell you is that everybody is doing better now than they were doing 4 years ago. And of course, this is because Bidenomics. I don't even know what that means, but Bidenomics has sent the market to a record high. Stock market at a record high. Housing market close to a record high in most areas. But this is the best economy we've ever had. Best economy in history. Now, that's shocking to me. That's not my take, but this economy is doing so well that we have extra money. We can give Israel some. We can give the Ukraine some. We can spread it out around the world. We got a lot of extra money, right? And that's very exciting. You see now inflation, according to the mainstream, we're at historic lows, record lows almost. Same with unemployment rates. They're down at record lows, historic lows. This is what they're telling people. They're telling people that the U.S. has never been more prosperous, which is fascinating to me. You see, now, if we've never been more prosperous, how come we're running such a huge deficit? Now, when do countries usually run a deficit? Usually when they're in a depression, or usually when they're at war. Now, they tell us we're not at war, and they tell us we're not in a depression. So why are we running $1 trillion a quarter more farther in debt? $4 trillion a year, money we don't have. If this is such a prosperous time, how is this possible? And as far as buying a house goes, well, they'll tell you, if you can't afford to buy a house in this booming economy that we have, these prosperous times that we have, well, there's something wrong with you. Obviously, you're not even trying. You got to work harder. That way you can go out and buy a house. This is a boom times for the United States. You see, the mainstream media, they got a lot different point of view than me. They don't have the point of view that houses are going to come down by 40%. That's my point of view. Now, maybe I got it all wrong. Maybe houses will come down 60 or 80%, but I think only 40%. We'll see how that plays out. They could fall farther, but that'd just be reverting back to the mean, reverting to the long-term average, if you will. But you see, I play it out a lot different than the mainstream media. Now, you got to look at both sides, though. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I am wrong. If you listen to Barbara Cochran, she'll tell you I'm really wrong about the real estate prices. She'll tell you that real estate prices right now are really low. They're a bargain. And as soon as the mortgage rates start to come down, well, prices are just going to skyrocket from here, And so you'd be a fool not to run out and buy one right now. Now, my take is a little bit different than that. My take is you'd be a fool to run out and buy one now. You see, homes have never been more unaffordable. Now, she thinks that the mortgage rates are going to come down, and maybe they will. My take is they're not going to come down. And my take is house prices are going to come down, but you're going to get mortgage rates staying up here for quite a while. They're going to try to lower rates, but then they got inflation. Now, we know for a fact the Fed, they can't raise rates, right? That'd be impossible. That'd crash everything. So they just wave the white flag at inflation. Inflation's going to run hot again. That's my take. I could be completely wrong. Maybe Barbara's got it right. Maybe mortgage rates will come down, and you should go out and buy right now. Hurry up. Go buy something. That way, when the mortgage rates come down, your house will go way up. You'll have all this equity to refinance and pull money out at a much lower rate, right? So you got to hurry up and buy. That would be her take. My take is no, be patient. Well, what should I do, Mike? Well, I know I get a lot of hate for this, but it's not a bad time to be a renter right now. In my area, renting is 50% of what it costs to buy a house. You got to pay $10,000 a month to buy the same house that you can rent for $5,000 a month. Now, I'm not saying to make renting your long-term, plan. I mean, there's going to be opportunities. I'm just saying right now, I don't see the opportunities. I see the opportunities to be a bag holder if you run out right now and buy a house. But a lot of people, they don't see it that way. They don't see it that way. They see that prices are going to go higher from here. I think renting is a very good option right now on a temporary basis until you find the right opportunity for you. You see, the home equity that people have right now, all this equity envy they talk about, well, I got 200,000 according to Zillow, mine's 300,000. Look at that. Equity can be wiped out like that. That can go away really quick. You get a banking crisis, and we've talked a lot about that. You get a liquidity crisis. You get a financial crisis. You get a credit crunch. That equity is just going to disappear. Now, Wall Street, they turned the housing market into a big casino, right? I mean, it used to be you buy a house, a place to live, right? Now you buy a house to make money, and people are going to be upset when they're not making money. When these things start to free fall, people are going to be really upset, and you're going to get a tsunami of inventory coming onto the marketplace. Now, you can buy into this frenzy. Look, there was a frenzy in 2006, right? That's a subprime crisis. Everybody was trying to outbid each other, right? To get into the house. That was the frenzy stage. There was the big bubble, right? And then the bubble popped. So everyone that bought in 2006, by 2008, they were really sad people. They were really upset. They were sad. They gave the keys back to the bank. They lost everything. They made a terrible mistake. Now I see history repeating itself. We got the frenzy still out there. People are bidding on these houses. But a couple years from now, I think a lot of these people are going to be really sad. Now, according to Barbara, they're going to be really happy because the house price will double. They'll be able to refinance. They'll be having all this money, and you poor renters, you're just going to be slaves for the rest of your life. So hurry up, get out there and buy. That's what Barbara would tell you. I don't see it that way. I just see it as a market that has just gotten out of hand, that's very unaffordable. That is probably the worst time to buy in U.S. history. Now, I talk a lot about the crisis going on. A lot of people think I'm negative. I think I'm just being realistic here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them today. Well, we got the banking crisis. I've already spent a lot of time on that. Banks are in trouble. They're going to go down. They're going to fall like dominoes, right? I mean, they got the commercial real estate is in a crisis, worth about half what it used to be. The bonds have come way down, and the banks don't have your money. If there's a bank run on any bank, they're going to go under. They're going to fall over. They're going to come to an end. Our other problem, debt crisis, right? The debt crisis. We got a debt crisis in this country. 35 trillion just in the federal debt right now. 100 trillion in unfunded liabilities, but there's no stopping the spending. We're still spending like a drunken sailor, and it's both sides. It's the Democrats, it's the Republicans. Look, I hate them all. I mean, I just don't like politicians. I just really don't. They just spending your money thinking that it's their money, and they're spending like a drunken sailor. I don't like that. Now, here's something I want to talk to you about today. I know I'll probably get a lot of the hate comments, but we have to do something. You see, there's a third crisis going on in the U.S. right now, and it's called invasion. It's an invasion crisis. Right now, the U.S. is being invaded. I mean, we have an open border down. Our southern border is wide open. Millions of people are flooding through it. These are illegal people. I don't mind people coming into our country in a legal manner, but these people are just flooding in illegally. And what they're trying to do, you see, the Biden administration, I'm not picking on them on President's Day. I could. I think Kamala's in charge of the southern border. Not sure she's ever made it down there yet, but I think she's in charge of that situation. But I mean, this invasion, we're getting millions and millions of people coming in, but their take is that it's not a problem because, well, the people aren't invading us with weapons. Look, the United States is never going to fall because some military comes to our country and overtakes us. No, we will fight to the death if that ever happened. There's no way it can happen. We have enough bombs to blow up the world 20 times over. It's just not going to happen. That's not how the U.S. is going to fall. That's not the way it's going to happen. It's going to fall because of its debt crisis. It's going to fall because of this invasion crisis. See, what they don't get is the people coming in. I love people, and I don't blame the people coming in. They just want a better life. Their country's not as good as the U.S., and the U.S. will give them free health care, will give them benefits that they can't get in their country because their leaders aren't as stupid as ours. But you come to our country, you can get on Medicaid right away, right? Medicaid becoming $1 trillion a year problem, overwhelming the hospitals. These are not our people. These are people that have come in here illegally. Now, I'm not talking about letting terrorists in, although a percentage of them, I'm sure, are terrorists that want to hurt us, but they're sending millions of people. Why? Why are they sending millions of people into our country? Because they know it will bring our country down to its knees. Our infrastructure cannot handle these people. We are a very generous country, and I believe in giving and helping others, but we cannot support millions and millions of people that are flooding in here. It is overloading all of our social systems. It's going to bring us down to our knees. Maybe we have 3 years left. I don't think so. Some people say we have 5 years left. Maybe we do, but we're going to hit a depression that's going to make the 1930s look like a Sunday school class. I mean, it's just going to be brutal what's coming. It's because of this invasion. The invasion's through the southern border. Look, we could stop this immediately. I mean, Biden has the power. Call in the National Guard. We seal off the border. We solve the problem. But, he doesn't want to protect America. On President's Day, I mean, this is unheard of. I never heard of a president that doesn't want to protect our country. I love our country. I was born and raised here. I hope that we do something. I hope that we seal up the southern border because we're being invaded. We're being overrun. The cities are overrun with homeless people. These people, they come here with nothing and hope of a better life. And yeah, we pay for their medical stuff. We pay for food for them. We pay for everything for them, but there's only so much food. The hospitals are overrun. Look, your take may be completely different to have a wide open border, and maybe that's a good thing, but we're not going to survive as a country this way. We're going to be brought down to our knees. It's not from some military coming in and attacking us. No, we're more than well equipped to fight against that. But when they invade us with millions and millions of people, we're not equipped for this. It is going to crash our country. It's going to bring us down to our knees. Now, I know YouTube, they're going to probably flag this video, but that's okay. I mean, maybe they take my channel down for talking about this stuff, but somebody's got to talk about it, right? Me and you, we can talk about it. Look, I don't know what your take is on having a border open or closed, but I'm telling you, our country cannot handle this invasion of millions and millions of people each year coming into the country, overwhelming our systems that we have in place, overwhelming our infrastructure, overwhelming our food supply. It's not going to be pretty what's about to happen, but look at what we need: a president that can protect our country, one that has the guts to do it. That's all I want to say on that. Look, it's not a left or right thing. I don't like either one of them, to be perfectly honest. You're a politician. I'm pretty much against you unless you promise you'll never spend another dollar that we don't have, and that would be just fine with me. I'd vote for anyone that do that. They all say they'll do that, but once they get in there, they just spend like drunken sailors. I got carried away on President's Day, but that's just my take. Your take may be completely different. I'm Tall Mike. You like this stuff? Give me the thumbs up. Why not? Why not? It's President's Day, everybody. Get out there. Enjoy the day. Bye-bye now.